Hey there, welcome to Hang with Oma. Today we are going to be working from my kitchen just because I'm going to be doing a little bit of baking today, okay? Yes, you're welcome. This is specially for the non-bakers. Okay, I'm going to be showing you how I make some very nice bread rolls in my kitchen, and you'll be seeing not the professional way of baking, of course, because like I said, this is for non-bakers like me. I won't call this a tutorial or a recipe video, just me showing you how I do my baking, and probably you might want to try it out if you're a non-baker like me. So today we are going to be starting with all-purpose flour. Yeah, this is the much of the flour I'm going to be using in today's baking. I'm going to be adding some cinnamon powder into it. This bottle is empty, but I'm shaking the life out of it just because I want to smell some cinnamon in my kitchen this morning. I love me the smell of cinnamon. And I'll be adding dry yeast, just a level tablespoon of dry yeast. And if you have the regular yeast, you might need to activate it by adding it into a lukewarm water that has a little bit of sugar, just to activate the yeast. Okay, after that I'll be adding about 3 scoops of sugar, and I'll be adding some soya bean powder. I used to bake with milk, but I tried soya bean out the last time I baked and I loved the taste it gave. So the soya bean is my new plug right now. One of the advantages of baking yourself is that you can freestyle with it, okay? You can put whatever you feel comfortable in your bread. Some days I feel like adding sardines, I do. Other days I don't feel like, I don't. So this is me mixing all the dry ingredients together. Today's baking I will not be doing with some eggs, but if you want, you can always add some eggs. I'm going to be putting in my regular baking baking butter, and I mixed it with olive oil, your normal olive oil. Yes, I mixed it with the baking butter. The last time I tried it with my butter, I loved it. So yeah, that is what I added. And then I'll be putting in water, normal water, gradually. You don't want to put a lot because you don't want to now have too wet a batter that you have to start adding flour to dilute it out. So I'll be adding the water gradually. This part is my worst part of baking. This is not my favorite part at all. I hate all the batter gluing to my arm, like to my fingers. I hate it. I don't fancy this part at all. But we've got to eat some bread, so you got to get some work done, okay? So as the flour has collected together, I will be transferring it to a clean work surface. Okay, and this surface is where I will be kneading the flour. Kneading, that's what the professional bakers call what I am doing right now. So I'll be kneading the flour on the surface for a while. Hi friend, if you're new here, you're welcome. My name is Choma Onya. I make YouTube videos from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, and thank you for clicking to watch this video. If you haven't subscribed, feel free to hit that red subscribe button on your screen and click the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload. Okay? Now the way to know if your flour is okay is after kneading it a while, you touch the surface of the flour to see if it rises back. And if it rises just like it did right now, you know that the flour is ready to be left to rest. Okay, so I'm going to grease the surface of the flour with some olive oil, and I'm going to leave it to rest for an hour, at the very least an hour. You can always cover with a muslin wrap, or you can reuse a grocery bag, or you can be like me and just cover it with a bowl. It's going to rise. Okay, after an hour I came back. This is what I have. My flour rose very beautifully well, and I'm going to just work on it just a little bit, and then I can portion it into small portions so that I can make my rolls. If you want to make a bun-like bread, you know, the type you use to make your burger, you can do it this method that I'm doing right now. If you want, you can add some sardines inside this type. It's looking small right now, believe you me, it's going to rise. Okay, now try to ignore the knife mark on my tray, but I'm going to get it a little bit powdery so that I can keep my dough there to rest when I'm done working on it. Now I prefer to make my bread that old school kind of bread that I usually get when I was little, you know, the ones that are round-ish in pattern. I don't know if it's pattern, yeah, but you see what I'm doing with the dough. Yeah, that type of bread, that is the type that I prefer making. So if you do not prefer making this one, you can always do the first type, like the one that looks like bun. Any one of the above is absolutely fine. Okay, you can be creative with it, try a different method. You can plate it if you want to. It's still going to give you a very delicious bread. So yeah, feel free and be creative with it. Oh my god, this is so funny. Me, I now bake bread. You guys, I do this at the very least once every week. But if you know me before, you know that I run away from things like this. I tend to think of it as tedious. But I have a child now and he loves bread, and I'd like to think that I control what he puts in his mouth. Okay, so yeah, I'm doing a lot of this kind of thing now. It comes with the job of being a mother, guys. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, so I'm going to be using this small electric oven. If you have a big oven, feel free to pop all your bread in at the same time. I don't. I'm using the small electric oven because that is what is available in my kitchen. So I don't have the baking sheet that usually gets spread at the tray. Like I said, this is not a professional oven. This is not a professional baker, I mean to say. So yeah, this is the way I ensure that my bread does not get stick to the pan. I grease my pan with a little bit of olive oil, and then I sprinkle it lightly with flour. After that, I can transfer my dough to the tray and pop it into my preheated oven, just like so. You try to leave space between, just so if it rises more, it will have room. Okay, now after a while I check. I usually bake at 150 degrees centigrade. So this is after a while, after 15-20 minutes, I check, and this is the color I have of the bread right now. If you want yours to be a little more brownish, you can leave it for a little more time. Okay, I sometimes prefer this shade of brown. Other times I just let it, get a little more golden. Anyone, as long as the bread is done, is fine. Before I put the next batch, I go ahead and sprinkle a little more flour. You saw how easy it was to take out the bread. I don't want it sticking to the pan, so I sprinkle a little more flour, and I'll go ahead, add some more dough, and pop it back to the oven. I keep repeating this process until I have all my breads done. Okay, see, it's stressful because I'm using a small oven. If you have a big oven, that first time just pop everything into the oven and have your bread baked at once. Okay, so after about 3 batches, this is what I have. I still have a last batch in the oven, but I'm gonna show you what I have on the tray anyways. If you see how soft soft this bread is, oh my god, it is so hot and soft, and this video does not do it justice. My entire kitchen smells of soya and cinnamon, and it is such a beautiful smell. Like, I enjoy the smell of this baking. If you do not like cinnamon, you can always use vanilla extract or any other fragrance, scent that you want in your dough. Okay, so yeah, this is how I bake my bread. It is very soft and it is very delicious. Thank you for watching, guys. If you haven't, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.